Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever time of day this video finds you. It's your boy Jay here, and today I just want to talk about how excited I am to see more maps from Monster Hunter Wilds, okay? I don't think I've ever been this excited for maps, specifically when it comes to a Monster Hunter game. I think the closest I've ever been this hype when it comes to seeing new maps for a Monster Hunter game is, of course, World, right? Which was the last time we got a gigantic jump in the map quality, right? Going from, disconnected zones with loading screens in between to one huge map with no loading screens was huge. Don't get me wrong, I was hyped for that. But Wilds seems to be doing a whole lot with their maps. So much so that I think a map reveal is gonna be on maybe the same tier as monster reveals, because these maps, the one map that we already know has a whole lot going on, and it's incredible, and I'm super excited for it. I do have two hypothetical map ideas that I want to discuss here in this video, and I want to talk about why I think these maps are going to be so insane. Let's dive in. Okay, so the first thing I want to discuss when it comes to Monster Hunter Wilds' maps is size and seasons, quote unquote seasons. I don't really want to call them seasons because they're kind of not seasons, but you'll see when we get there. Size and seasons, right? So a lot of creators got access to a preview event at Summer Game Fest. They got to watch the game be played, right? So Capcom themselves, told everybody, hey man, these maps are twice the size as the maps in Monster Hunter World, okay? So step one, each map that Wilds is gonna have is gonna be 2 from Monster Hunter World. Does that make sense? So basically you're gonna get 2 maps for the price of 1. However, check this out, there's also quote unquote seasons. There's different conditions on the map, and that is shown in the trailers that we've already gotten, right? The name for the Windswept Plains one that we know now are called the Plenty and the Fallow, right? So the Plenty is, when the environment is very rich, there's more materials and plants and I guess probably monsters, like small monsters maybe, that are easy to hunt than there are normally, right? And that is like that part from the first trailer when you see it kind of spread across the map when we crest the hill, and then the title card shows up, Monster Hunter Wilds. That is probably the Plenty settling in, right? And then the Fallow is the Storm, where you see that monster that we were calling Thor Magala, whose name I think is Reydau, R-E-Y-D-A-U, Reydau. So yeah, the ray gun monster is Reydau. Anyway, yeah, so you see that monster in the Storm, and then the subsequent conditions that follow, right? Where the palette gets a bit muted, the monsters come out are a bit harsher, right? There's less plant life, maybe there's less materials around, you might get struck by lightning, blah, 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 blah. So the map, twice the size as a Monster Hunter World map. That's already 2 maps, but it has 2 different conditions as well. So each map is gonna be like basically 4 maps from Monster Hunter World crammed into one. Insane, right? Because if each map has 2 different conditions it could be in, well, wait, that not only 2 different conditions, 3 different conditions, because there is just a normal condition. There is like a base, like just regular map, then you can have the Plenty, then you can have the Fallow, and then you can have none. So really, it's 3 conditions, and it's twice the size of a Monster Hunter World map. Insane. That's like 6 maps in one. Ridiculous. Even if we only get 3, maybe 4 maps and a special arena, if each of these maps has some sort of special condition or season tied to it, that's still gonna end up being more map combinations than what we usually get out of a finished G-rank game, right? If Wilds comes out with 4 maps, each of them having 2 different conditions and regular, and they're all twice the size of a Monster Hunter World map, yeah, that's gonna be more maps than Iceborne. There's going to be more maps than Sunbreak, right? Just because of the sheer size, complexity, and the different permutations that can be, right? Like, oh, I was in the Plenty in this part of the map, or I was in the Fallow in this part of the map, and then, you know, maybe when you switch, the map feels completely different, despite it still being that same map, right? So with all of that being said, even if we get quote unquote less maps, I think it's gonna end up being more map than what we usually get out of a finished G rank game here in a base game before title updates. I'm so excited to see how these maps turn out. So excited that I've been theory crafting and thinking up of different Monster Hunter maps. Now that we have like a little bit of info on how these maps are, I have 2 map ideas that I think would be amazing to see, and I want to hear about your guys' map ideas. So definitely hit the comment section down below and share your ideas if you have any, if you've been thinking about this stuff nonstop like me. Let's dive in. Okay, so the first thing I thought of when I saw how there's the Plenty and the Fallow and there's different ways how the map changes is a volcano. Okay, it's Monster Hunter, we're gonna have a volcano. That's a no-brainer. This is actually probably gonna happen, right? Like, mark me down, come back to this video in the future when we see the volcano map and you're like, yo, it's just like what Jay said. Anyway, so volcano map, right? And of course, in a volcano, it's gonna be active volcano, of course, and there's gonna be lava flows. But I think that is how we do our little season mechanic here, right? There's going to be a regular amount of lava flow, right? Where there's going to be, you know, lava flow and it's going to be all right. And then there's going to be the harsh lava flow, right? So it's going to be harsh because there's going to be more lava flow than normal, right? And the puddles of lava are going to be bigger. The rivers of lava are going to be bigger. And there's going to be more area on the ground where when you walk on it, you're going to lose HP. That means it's going to be harder for the hunter to navigate. It's going to be harder for the hunter to hunt in because the environment is so harsh, because there's more lava around. There's more things taking away your health, right? I mean, we're probably not going to get cool drinks to come back. This is about as close as we could get to, hey, this kind of reminds me of cool drink from back in the day, because now almost everywhere I step, damn, my health is being sacked away because of the overflow, I guess we'll call it, right? So that's harsh condition, and then there's regular. But I guess the Plenty of this map will be when some of the lava cools down, right? Now you can access more of the map. Maybe more monsters are inhabiting this newly formed land because, you know, it's cool and now it's more things to walk on, right? So there's going to be more materials to gather. There's going to be more places to reach because a whole lot of the lava has cooled off, and it's easier to access and it's easier to hunt in because now your health is not going to be zapped away as easy because, well, the ground is just, you know, the ground. It's cooled off now, right? So boom. Lava map or volcano map, active volcano. You have your regular condition, normal amount of lava. You have the Fallow, overflow lava everywhere, health being drained. And then you have the Plenty, lava cools down, more land formed, more places to access, even bigger map. What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comments down below. On to the next map idea I have. Okay, so the last idea I have for a map, think water, all right, which is not that dissimilar from my previous idea when it came to a map, but a map like Flooded Forest, except like less muddy and murky, right? Think jungles, like clean aesthetic, or Caribbean aesthetic. I want like icy blue water, you know what I'm saying? I want it to be like looking like paradise, but still a harsh environment. However, so it's watery, and I want the water levels to change as you are on the map. Think tides, right? So sometimes the water level's pretty shallow, your hunter's running through it, splashing puddles, no big deal for your hunter, right? Other times the water might be ankle deep, knee deep, waist deep in some areas, right? And that's going to be during your, you know, the Fallow, right? Where maybe a rainstorm comes through and it's just raining so hard, a deluge of rain. Think hurricane, right? So much rain comes through that it raises the water levels a whole lot, kind of restricts your hunter's movement, makes it harder to move around. And gives more places for monsters like Lagiacrus, to come back, and gives more places for them to swim, right? So they'll be able to move to places on the map that they couldn't before because the tides have risen, right? There's more area for them to swim in. Now it's harder to hunt them there, right? Same thing with like a Plesioth, right? There's more areas for Plesioth to maybe dive in because now the water's deeper, and maybe the monster can like dive and swim under the map to a different part and pop up, right? Because, you know, we saw that with the windswept plains. There's multiple levels to it, right? And then maybe during the plenty, the water level actually recedes quite a bit and opens up those caves that the monsters use to go across the map. But now you can go in there, and now in the caves it's only like, you know, shin deep, and you can get down there and hunt with the monsters too, right? But that does give an issue where, like, okay, if it fills up, are we gonna bring back swimming? No, we know swimming's not gonna be in the game, but you get the idea, right? Where maybe you can go to some areas that were previously inaccessible to you because now the water level's receded a bit, but then when it comes back up to regular water level, I don't know, they gotta have a mechanic for being able to kick you out of there. And that's something that I'm not really 100% on, but I like the idea of tides changing, and maybe you don't get to go to different areas as the water recedes, and it's just easier for you to navigate the map, right? So now they don't have to come up with a creative way to kick you out. But yeah, clean map, clean water everywhere, and the water level changes, and it makes it easier or more difficult for the monsters that swim to track you down, to hunt you down, to fight you, right? Because if there's more water on the map, best believe Plesioth and Lagiacrus are going to use that and, you know, mess you up and swim around you and swim laps around you. You're on their turf, and they're going to outmaneuver you, much like how swimming used to be. But instead of bringing it back, you can still kind of have that same feeling that swimming used to give us back in the 3rd gen. Alright, so that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. You guys know that you all are the real content when it comes to the video, and I'm hoping this video will spark discussion much like a lot of my previous videos have. So definitely head down there, don't be shy, hit the comment section with your own ideas for maps. I know mine are kind of basic, but the real nitty-gritty, I think, is going to be that changing mechanic, right? How can these maps change and shift and make themselves feel different with the quote-unquote season mechanic? I'm still not liking the way seasons fit, because season, you know, it takes a while for a season to change. But anyway, you get what I'm saying. Head down to the comment section, drop a comment down below, and as always, people, happy hunting. Peace.